Good morning, everybody, and welcome to What's Real in Real Estate. I'm Elie Morris with Signature Real Estate Group, and I'm excited about our Memorial Day edition. We've got Chris Bishop with us, and I'm really excited to have Chris here today. First, let me go through the numbers. They are getting better. They're getting better every single week. I checked this morning. We have almost 2,200 single-family homes, which is not bad. We're getting close to a month's supply.
Now.
Listen, right now, that's better than when we had a week's supply, So WEAK supply.
Week's supply, yeah.
But it's getting better. So in the last 7 days, we sold 727 homes, which puts us at about 3,100 for a month, which is, again, we're getting real close to that month supply. We also have 600 condos and townhomes, and there are 56 beautiful manufactured homes waiting for someone to buy them.
Very nice.
So that's cool. And Viva Las Vegas news, man, we got some exciting stuff happening here in Las Vegas. The casinos took in $1 billion in April. First time in a long time.
A little bit of that was mine.
But yeah, some was mine too. Not ashamed to say it. I support the economy here in this town. What else do we have? Oh, sports books had their biggest take in 8 years in April. I think the phone apps had to help that because my good friend William Hill is there all the time taking care of me. We're expecting 300,000 people this weekend, which is unbelievable considering we had 0 people in town last weekend.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's see, conventions are back, EDC is back, and that ED is nothing to do with the 4-hour issue. EDC.
Is that this weekend?
No, it's down the road. I thought it was kind of funny. EDC and the ED.
Yep.
With the 4 hours, go to the hospital. It went over my head too. Forget that. Shows are back. Buffets are coming back. The Raiders are coming back. And tonight, the Golden Knights are going back into round 2.
You know, I only went to one game, and I feel really bad because they were on a streak, and I went to that one game, and then
you broke it.
I think so.
Don't even watch the game tonight.
I won't.
Leave it off.
I won't. No, I'm not going to do it.
It's funny. I finally went out and bought a. By the way, if you don't know, this is Chris Bishop, the general manager of our office, and I was so excited to go buy a jersey. I never bought a jersey.
Yeah.
So I only bought a jersey. They got clobbered that day.
Where'd you get it?
I went to the arena.
Yep.
I didn't know where else to go, so I went down there.
I went to Macy's. Macy's, every place sells Golden Knights gear now, so I went to Macy's and bought a jersey, Well,
I was hoping tonight's the night. I will be so sick if they don't win tonight.
I hope so, too. You mentioned buffets, and one of the big things that's out there is a staple of the community was always going to the Station Casinos buffets, all the locals. They're not bringing them back.
Ever.
Can you believe that?
I know.
What will they put into the coupon machines now to give people if it's not a free buffet?
Right. How are they going to draw them out?
I don't know. Every time it would be something like you could win $10,000 or, a free weekend stay or free buffet. And every time I hit that free buffet, so I might get the weekend or the $10,000.
Yeah. And they had a good buffet.
They did.
For the money, they had a real good buffet.
Good.
Yeah. See, I can't go to Bacchanal and spend 50, 60, 80 bucks. I'd rather go to a restaurant.
But, that usually includes some type of alcohol, and the others don't.
That's true.
So right. I mean, I could kind of rationalize that.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the one at the Bally's? I think it's called the Sterling.
I haven't. I've been to the Rio, the Life of Buffets. The family favorite, like when I was growing up as a kid here in Vegas, the Showboat. The Showboat was like the buffet that everyone wanted to go to, and my grandmother would take us every Sunday. And
so I didn't know you grew up here.
I did. I'm born and raised in Las Vegas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My grandfather, both of my grandfathers came here. One in the early 70s and one in the early 50s.
Wow.
Yeah, I have my granddad Phil opened the Stardust the first day, and he worked there his entire life.
So you not only have a fantastic real estate bloodline, you got a pretty good Las Vegas bloodline too.
Yeah. I mean, you can't talk much about it, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, my dad and my entire side of my family there was in the casino business, and my mom's family, all of them were in the real estate business, and so kind of interesting, yeah.
That is, it really is.
Yeah.
Well, you really have seen change. You've seen all the changes.
Well, everyone was kind of advanced in years when I came around. I was the youngest, and so I didn't get the advantage of growing up with all of the folks around it. But yeah, just since I've been in town, it's been an interesting chase.
In the almost 16 years I've been here, I've seen an amazing difference.
Yeah.
Not only traffic and the growth and everything.
Yep.
It's just this town is just an exciting town.
When I was a kid, you could still ride horses pretty much anywhere.
Really?
And I had horses as a kid, and my father, you know where Santa Fe Station is?
Yeah.
And so you used to actually drive over the freeway There was no light or anything. It was just a dirt road that went over the freeway. And so, that, and you got to time it now. I can't do that anymore. But I remember going out there, and that's where we would ride our horse.
Oh,
and there was nothing beyond it. And my grandfather bought this 55-foot RV. And the first place we went to is Santa Fe, when they opened up, had like the best Mexican restaurant in town. And so he wanted to take the entire family. We're all piled into this RV, and he parks in the parking lot. And we go in and have dinner. It takes about an hour and a half. Come back out and can't get out of the parking lot because there's cars parked everywhere around him. He didn't, leave enough room for it. So we banged into cars on our way out of the thing. But that was as far out as you could go, really.
So what part of town did you grow up in when you were a kid?
Believe it or not, I grew up, my grandparents and my dad lived down in Hunt Ridge, which is the oldest, planned community in Las Vegas. It was the first track, and it's right there at Maryland and Sahara. And I went to a small private school that's right downtown next to Bishop Gorman, not Bishop Gorman. And my aunt and uncle all went to Bishop Gorman, but I went to someplace else. And I grew up down there. And then my mom, she lived over in Desert Shores.
Oh, wow.
And so she had bought one of the first homes that was built there. And they lived there for had that house for 20, 22 years.
I tell this all the time, and it's a great story. When I first came to town, I got lucky enough, or I guess it was lucky, to become an REO agent. And I had a guy that did trash outs for me. His name was Dave Bingham. I'm 66. Dave is 66. Born and raised here. Graduated high school. Lived down near off 13th Street.
Yeah, I was on 15th.
Okay, he graduated high school in '73, and his parents decided to move.
Uh-huh.
And I guess all their friends and family told him, "You're crazy. You're going so far out. No one's going to come visit you. There's nothing out there." They moved to Valley View and Sahara.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It seemed like a far away
so.
place, but it wasn't. Yeah, I growing up in this town, it was so small, and even to when I became an adult, my father would walk into any hotel or any place or anywhere in town and meet somebody, and through like 2 or 3 degrees of separation, they would know 5 people. And it was a really small place for locals.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. It's still, kind of a small town.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a big small town.
It's a big small town, and I think that it's weird to me. Everyone always says, like you walk into a casino and the dealer has that badge on it. It used to say the dealer's name and where they're from.
That's right.
Right. And so my father always would make a joke out of it, because he lived here so long. He basically said from Las Vegas, and people would ask me, hey, where are you from? Las Vegas.
You don't see those anymore. They don't have that on
No,
anymore.
no one cares.
I remember when I first used to come to visit here, everybody had Denver, Detroit, Chicago. Baltimore.
Because Vegas was really a melting pot for everybody. No one was really from here. They all came here from somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And they still do.
They still do.
When I first got here in '05, I was told, you're never going to meet a native Las Vegan. My next door neighbor
Oh, really?
was born and raised here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is pretty cool. And
There's
of
quite a
course,
few.
today you do meet a lot of
Yeah.
native Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Well, listen, tell everybody, well, you just told about your background, but you got a real strong real estate background. Not only were your mom was the president of GLVAR.
Yeah,
Keith was the president.
So my mom and my stepdad were both Las Vegas Realtor Board presidents. We called it Greater Las Vegas then. And I had spent my youth, my childhood, watching them both sell real estate. So I kind of grew up around the business. Just like my daughter is right now, I was helping them input listings on paper, but doing those type of things, helping them with their business, and I kind of grew up in it. And so part of that was they would travel for the Realtor Association and all of their events and stuff. And so I got the opportunity to travel as a kid. I started, I think, 12 or 13,
Wow.
and it led me. I had no intention of getting into real estate. I was actually going to go to law school, and started at UNLV and CSN, and had a few scholarships. And my mom said, well, "Why don't you come work at the real estate office on the side as a job?" And I said, "Sure." So I worked my way through a real estate company, worked my way up through the levels. I actually met my wife there, and I got my real estate license because I was watching these realtors back in '04 and '05 just making a fortune, and I didn't think that there was any reason I couldn't do it. And I'd grown up in it, so I got my license and started off and was killing it.
Wow. You've been in the business a relatively short time.
Yeah,
a license in the
Yeah,
business.
I've been in it now 15, I guess almost 16 years as a licensee, and I got in '02, right out of graduating from high school, in the inside of it, working in the real estate offices. And a lot of the people I grew up with are brokers or agents or top producers in the marketplace. similar stories. Their parents were in real estate and they just went through it. And but I I make the joke that I've been through a lot in the last 2 decades just because of the way the market has been. Great market, most amazing ever seen, biggest crash ever seen, biggest recovery ever seen, and now we're in the greatest sellers market we've ever seen. So
Well, I got to tell you, and I say this, folks, I'm not stroking Chris because I just not doing that, but
you're not sitting close enough.
no. But I'm going to tell you, when I think about 15, you really are wise beyond your years.
Well,
When I come to you with a question, man, you always have a good, sensible, helpful answer for
Well,
me.
thank you. Tell my wife. I try to learn as much as I can, and I think that's the one thing I've learned throughout the years is that you can never know enough in our business, and no scenario will ever be the same. And I've had a lot of great mentors and leaders that have provided me with insight, and I kind of have a plan that I always will be mentoring a few agents and mentored by a few agents, and because there's always the next step.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we know you're native Las Vegas, and you've been with us now for how long? A year?
And so I came to Signature in December of 19.
Oh, okay.
So it's I'm reaching
Almost a
that
year and a
2-year
half.
mark.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've really enjoyed it. Love the company. I knew Brandon because of our Board of Realtors interaction. That's how we met. And Vandana and Janet and Tom and all of us had served together. And Signature is full of past presidents of the
Man,
board.
that's got to be a record. I mean, you got you, Tom,
Yep.
Janet,
Patty.
Patty. That's 5. Soon to be
Brandon's
coming on.
Yeah. And then I've got some others that are out there thinking. We're starting a club. And so there's actually a committee called the Past Presidents Committee at the board, and I'm actually the vice chair.
Okay.
We haven't had to have a meeting because they're all sitting here in the office. But yeah, and I came over, worked for a great company before, and had an opportunity with Brandon to grow and change some of the dynamics here and the leadership team, and just a great group of people. I've not met one person that wasn't wonderful to hang out with. And
I've been in sales all my life, and I've been in real estate for almost 20 years. Well, the first broker I had in Detroit was a great guy, and he taught me a very ethical guy.
Yep.
And I came over here, and I started with a big company here, one of the biggest in town.
Sure.
And it was cool. They were good. But I didn't. What I love about this place here is I just feel like it's safe. I
Yes.
know I can trust everybody.
Yep.
I've never seen an organization with so many people that are all willing to help, from the smallest newest agent to the oldest. I mean, everybody. This is a true team effort.
Yeah, a lot of people, in some companies, it's about the fact that they get so competitive and they get so wrapped up in themselves that they'd rather see someone fail and them succeed than everyone succeeding together. And I think that here it's that common ground of I love the saying, a high tide lifts all boats.
That's a good.
And
That's
so
right.
we got high tides over here.
We sure do. We sure do. It's a great organization. I can't imagine being anywhere else and having any other kind of leadership that
Yep.
we have today. So talk a little bit about, you've been here all your life. What are some of your favorite things about Vegas?
Man, my favorite thing about Vegas is there's always something to do, right? And I think that when I was a kid, I had cousins that lived out of state, and they would make the dumb joke, "What hotel do you live in?"
Oh, God, isn't that funny?
Because they'd think that it was all just high rises and the whole thing, and then they come here and see it. But Vegas has something for everyone. It's the only place that I know of where you can go skiing at the mountain and then water skiing at the lake in the same day. And it's because we have so much that happens here now. Everyone talks about the heat and the extreme heat, but for those that have lived here, you get used to it. And it's not like I'm standing outside all day, I inside with the AC, but I've also never been flooded out. My brother has lived in multiple places where his home's been flooded multiple times. And I've never had a tornado or those kind of things, knock on wood. But it's a
You never do this either from mosquitoes.
Yeah.
There's no mosquitoes.
Very rare.
I've never seen one.
I've seen them, but they burst into flames as soon as they come outside. But the whole thing is it's just a great environment. There's so much to do, the nightlife, and it's funny because the locals really, we don't always make it down to the shows and down to the strip. It's our getaway when our friends and relatives come into town because everything's so localized. And I think that the neat part is you can go and have an amazing 5-star experience downtown. You can go home. It only takes a 30-minute drive. The commute around the city is amazing. For 2 million people, I can get from one side of the city in 30 minutes. Even,
Isn't that fantastic?
Even during rush hour, okay,
Yes.
maybe 45 minutes.
No, you're right. I was down in the far part of Henderson. This is a few weeks ago. And I had to go show homes up in Centennial Hills. So
Yep.
almost at the one end to the
Yeah.
other, kitty corner. Took me 30 minutes. This
That's
is not
amazing.
rush hour, but 30 minutes.
And you
30
were
minutes.
upset it took so long, right?
Yeah, I tell you what, I did enjoy in the past, because we live in Sun City, Summerlin, so
Yeah.
we're a few feet higher than Henderson.
Yeah.
It's cool watching the thermometer on your clock.
Oh, it's
go
all.
down, down,
Yeah.
down, because the higher you go, the lower
Yeah,
the
of course.
temperature is.
But you know, there's a lot of favorites. My wife and I, we try to get out to enjoy dinner, kind of as our date night, about once a week to someplace special. You know, growing up in town as a kid, there were all these small pop-up restaurants that were there. I remember as a kid every Sunday going to the Italian American Club
Oh,
for family
really?
dinner, and so it was a different family dinner when I was a kid than it is now. But it was an amazing experience. And I mean, literally, you would have grandmothers in the kitchen cooking their special sauce and rolled spumoni on the plates and stuff. And but there were just so many of these great local places. And the city, even though it's not very old, has an extreme amount of heritage.
Yeah.
And the people are very prideful about living here and what they bring to the community. And so, you know, it's got something for everyone.
It really, and on any budget,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
you want. I remember when on October, I'm sorry, I'm blanking. October 1st, what day was the shooting?
October 1st.
It was October 1st, yeah. My wife and I went out, we got water, and we saw the involvement in
Yep.
this community. And
Yeah.
boy, I got emotional.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
This is a community.
It is.
And people don't think that when you look out, when you think when you're from outside.
You know, and the other thing is, those that weren't born here feel like they were once they've been here for a while. And I think that's the interesting thing is people will say, "Oh, you're local." Oh, yeah. Well, I'm almost a local. I've been here for a long period of time, and that's just the feel of the group. You know,
It really is. It
Yeah.
is.
But you know, there's so many fun activities. My daughter, we were talking about. You were going to ask me my favorite restaurant, and so the one we go to most often is funny. It's Lazy Dogs.
Oh, you're kidding. I
Yeah.
thought it was City Grill.
No.
We love Lazy Dogs.
Lazy Dogs is like the go-to for my family. One of my personal favorites is Grape Street in downtown Summerlin because I like to enjoy the vino. And but yeah, my daughter just loves it. We were there 2 nights ago.
We're going there today for happy hour.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great happy hour. Yeah. You know what my favorite thing is there? The bison meatloaf.
Oh, haven't tried it.
Oh,
Good tip then. Did you have their calamari?
Yes.
Man, that's outrageous.
Oh, it's good. The other thing I kind of like the hoity-toity places every now and then. And so if you're looking for a great lunch spot that you really want to enjoy a fantastic, consistent menu, Vintner Grill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
a great
it's
place.
my favorite place to go for lunch. As far as dinners go, you know, one of the best experiences I've ever had, and it's not up to date as far as the most trendy place in town, Hugo's Cellar.
You know, I've heard about it. I
Yeah.
know where it's at in the Four Queens. I've
Yep.
never been there. Everyone says it's fantastic.
So at the top of the horseshoe when I was a kid, the best place to go in town was the top of the horseshoe, and the top of it would rotate around.
Oh.
But the reason why everyone loved it is that most of the dinners, no matter what you ordered, was finished tableside. And so, you know, you could light your hair on fires with the Cherries Jubilee and things like that, but it was dinner and an experience. And if it wasn't finished tableside, you didn't have the experience. And years after I grew up, my father would take us to Hugo's because he ended up working at the Four Queens for a little while, and it had a great experience. And then as I grew older and took my own family, the Carmel Room at the Rampart was my favorite place to go.
And that wasn't. I used to like that. But is the Hugo Cellar
Still there, still there,
And, it
and they
has-
still hand every beautiful lady that walks in the door a long stem rose.
No kidding.
Yeah, every time, and that's just that's
about
what
the ugly
Vegas is all
ladies?
about. Yeah. Hey, there was this thing today that a real estate agent posted that one of the strip clubs, you know, said that there's a shortage of strippers, and so now they're hiring ugly ones.
Yeah.
So even Beta has a chance.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, it is. There are so many restaurants. I love, but Lazy Dog is without a doubt
It's good.
our
It's a
favorite.
good family local spot
Yep.
that everyone enjoys. And then, you know, you go to the other sides of town. So last night we were over in Henderson, and I wanted to take a few friends to dinner, and I was racking my brain, and then I hit me Gaetano's.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
On Eastern.
it was amazing.
Yep.
The food, every single part of it was just fantastic. And I even had some to take home, and it was very good.
That's great. We used to live in Silverado Ranch, off Eastern and Silverado Ranch Road. Eastern was the worst street in the world.
Oh, it's
it still
horrible.
is, isn't it?
It's horrible. Yeah.
I've
My
lived-
nephew was actually in a horrible accident off the freeway there on Eastern just 2 years ago, and it's because of the way the whole traffic lane is structured. It's just I've been in 2 on Eastern, nowhere else, and not my fault, but still, it's happened.
Right.
You know?
Right. No, it is really a
Yeah.
busy,
Be safe
busy
out there
street.
around there.
Yeah, you got favorite shows in town here?
So when I was younger, my father opened the Excalibur, and he was one of the original employees there as a shift boss, and he had a friend that was a horseshoer because we have a big equestrian community here in town.
I thought you meant the horseshoe with the cards.
No.
Okay.
An actual horseshoer, like he puts the
Okay.
shoes on the
Yeah,
horse.
yeah.
And so, of course, they had Tournament of Kings, and I got to go and help shoe the horses, not shoe, but shoe the horses. And we go to that show and to eat with your hands. And, when it first opened up, it was an amazing, incredible experience. And then it became a little bit more commercialized as it went on. But that show is still running. And, I'm in my late 30s, and so that's been going on for a long time. But interesting show for sure.
When we first moved here, we bought a home in Silverado Ranch. Didn't have a pool.
Yeah.
There's no community pool. So I wanted to go to the pool. So we go to we get a night at the
Yeah.
Excalibur. Now, this is how naive I guess I was. Probably still am. We're in the pool. I'm tasting the water. It's salty.
Oh.
I think, what the hell is that? I never heard of this. Chris, I swear, I cannot believe I'm telling this to everybody. Because of the water, I knew there was a water shortage. I actually thought they shipped water in from the Pacific Ocean because it was so salty.
Yeah, I don't know why it was salty. There was a freshwater pool.
Was it? oh, yeah. But yeah, I never heard of salt water before that.
Yeah, no, and that became a big trend in residential real estate is people would put in saltwater pools, and someone buys the property, conveys it to someone else, and after the REO crisis, and didn't know everything about it. That was an interesting experience. But
We used to crash pools all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we loved it.
When I was a kid, Wet and Wild, the original Wet and Wild, not the one now, but the amazing one that was downtown.
Strip. Was that on the Strip?
Yeah, it was on the Strip.
Yeah.
It's right next to the SLS.
Okay.
It was in that vacant lot between it and Turnberry. And that was daycare for every kid that grew up as a local in Vegas. Your parent, didn't matter what they did, if you were between the ages of 6 and probably 15, you didn't go to daycare or after school care or anyone's stay at home. They dropped you off at Wet and Wild. You got your summer season pass, and everyone had the same one, and you had your little envelope of $5, and that was your whole day. And they would drop you off. I remember my mother would drop me off at 7:30, and she'd go to work as a real estate agent and pick me up around 5:30. All of my cousins would be there. All of the kids I went to school with would be there. All of my friends would be there. But it was just a commonality. And when it went away, that was a tragic day for Las Vegas.
I'll bet. That sounds
Yeah.
cool as
It was
can
great.
be.
It was really cool.
The way we crash the pools, people would come and visit. We take their card.
Yeah.
And keep it for.
Yeah,
until
their key card wherever they were.
Yeah.
I remember when Mandalay Bay opened, my brother went to stay there the opening weekend, and we kept his pool card it worked for about a week. And that was a cool thing to go, because they had real sand.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember, I don't know if you were here then, but the MGM used to have a theme park.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a great theme park, in my opinion. And
I
went
thought
away
it was
too.
cool. We went there on a vacation. When we came on vacation one time,
Yeah.
I did it wasn't a bungee jump. It was a
Yeah, the high jump thing.
that was cool, man.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Well, people, that's when the market became so hot and the property values escalated so quickly. I mean, we were getting monthly pricing escalation. And MGM just looked at it and said, wow, we can build high rises there and sell them for millions. And they did.
Yeah.
They were my favorite good time.
The high rises are amazing out here on the Strip, along that corridor.
And the weird thing is, most of them are 3rd, 4th, and 5th homes for people.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, all the money in those doors that's down there, and a lot of them are owned free and clear. And
Yep. I sold
pretty
one last summer ago, cash, free and clear, and again, it was a second home.
Yep.
And the HOA alone is like $1,100 a month. This is in I forget what, not the one on the other side of this.
And many of them have
Platinum.
rental restrictions, so that
Yes.
if you even go and rent it, like some of them are condo hotels, so that makes sense, like Trump and the others. And but you got to give them half of the rents to market, and you got to use their process. And so it's very interesting. But it's better than not getting anything.
Yeah, that's right.
know?
And I haven't really paid attention to the high rises as much. Have they jumped up in prices like everything else?
I remember at a certain point in the marketplace, Todd and I were talking about this. Todd Barton, he had a listing set of 19 listings in Allure that we couldn't give away. Like if we said they're free, just pay the fees, no one would take them.
When was this?
This is probably in 2010.
Okay.
And one guy came in and bought them all, and rented them out, got them stabilized, the whole thing. And now these were like $80,000-$90,000 units then, but the association fees were still extremely crazy. Yeah. And now these people came in and bought these units, and now they're selling for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And just like the condos, I mean, I was selling $28,000 condos left and right, thinking this will be the best it ever gets, right? And all these people that bought them, now those condos are 150, 160. Median price range for a condo now is what, 178 or 186, something like that. That's crazy.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And our median house is what, up to 376 now?
Yeah, median price 376, and people are still not getting the median versus the average. The average is in the mid fours, but the median that everyone is quoting is at 376. When I was president of the board in 2018, it was 315 every friggin' day for 2018. Like everyone would ask me, "What's the price?" I was gonna have it tattooed. It was that consistent. And
how low did it get back in 13 or 12?
I remember a stat that said it got to 118, but someone said it didn't go below 125. But I remember quoting the median at 118, and that's crazy when you think about all the properties out there. The best deal I ever saw is I had a guy who bought a 4,100 square foot home for 182.
Oh my goodness!
And he ended up selling it for 670. But that was the best deal, and it was in great condition. He rented it the entire time immediately, did really well. Rents escalated as he rented it. He had it for 12 years. And so he made back his initial investment within 3 years, I think 3 or 4 years.
Huh. Rentals are a mess too. I mean, rents in general.
Yeah, people are forced into them because they can't buy.
Yeah. Do you do much outdoor?
But if it was California or New York or anywhere else, this would be just part of the fun.
Yeah.
No,
you're right. I love that TikTok. We've all seen that TikTok.
Yeah.
It's so true.
It's so true.
That's what's
this
going
is my
on.
apple.
That's what's going on right now. Do you do much outdoors?
I used to go camping quite a bit. I love ATVing. We bought a Polaris RZR a couple of years back and enjoy doing that with some friends. We'll go up and do that over the weekends. And haven't for a while, though, with COVID and everything. Just it'd be the perfect activity to go up by yourself and do it, but just haven't made it out.
Yeah. Well, I know we're running out of time. You got a team meeting, but before we go, I didn't realize how funny you were. Like, I knew you vaguely before you came over here from seeing you.
I wasn't trying to be funny.
But you are one funny dude.
Hey, listen, if you can't be good, you got to be funny.
Okay. Yeah. You're good and funny. You're good and funny. You got a favorite joke?
I have a lot of favorite jokes, but I'll tell you the best joke. My daughter told me this, and I couldn't get mad at her when she said it. What did the fish say when it hit a wall?
The what?
The fish say when it hit a wall.
Say when it hit a wall. I don't know.
Damn.
That is a good one.
That's funny for nobody.
Yeah. Well, next time I ask you for your favorite joke, I promise you I won't. But no, thank you so much for taking it. I know how busy you are. Thank you for taking the time to coming out here, man. Next week, folks, we got a great show with Carrie Byers. She is the preeminent renter of showgirls.
Oh, wow.
That's her business. She used to be a showgirl, of course, and she's going to be on here.
My sister was a showgirl.
Really?
Yeah, my sister was in Follies Bergère and Crazy Girls and a bunch of the others.
I'm really sorry that I never got to see any of those shows before they closed.
Yeah, I saw one, and just so happened my sister was in it, and so I didn't go back to the other one.
Oh, okay.
It was a little risque. Yeah. My sister was not part of the risque part, but I was sitting in the back.
That was a big part of Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was huge. Did you ever see the orangutans at the Stardust?
No.
Oh, that was a great show. They had orangutans. That,
actual orangutans.
Yeah, real orangutans. It wasn't people they brought in for it, but it was an amazing show of all the things that they could do and their strength and stuff. And it was at the Stardust for years and years and years. And I always really enjoyed it. It would be between Wayne Newton doing his show, and then they'd bring in the orangutans and it'd go back.
Man,
and
Wayne
forth.
Newton, what a name here. He's got to stop with the Botox, though.
Oh, that guy was in show business so long that in his show, if you watched it, he used to sing coming out. And then what would happen is he'd go around and greet everybody, making you feel like this was your living room. Yeah. And he'd only sing a portion of the song because you can only sing for so long in life. until it kind of starts to come away from you. And he made that show incredible for everybody right up till he, stopped doing it.
But he was Mr. Las Vegas.
Mr. Las Vegas.
He was the king.
Mr. Showman.
Yeah.
He really was. He really was.
Another guy I wish I would have seen in his prime. I heard
Yeah.
it was just fabulous.
Oh yeah, it was. I saw it as a kid a few times, and I didn't really understand what I was seeing. But that's one thing my dad and my grandfather would always share is all of the shows of the people that you think of in the world. Every one of them that was important was here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Chris, thank you, brother.
Thanks, Elie.
Appreciate you very much. Thank you for everything.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody have a great, safe Memorial Weekend. Remember those that have fallen to keep us alive and safe and free. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Beta, thanks again, man. Bye, everybody.